we are today. We're getting ready to go into color theory. Before we can do any coloring service, before you do any type of coloring services, whether it's lightening or darkening, or whether it's adding color or removing color, it's important that you understand the law of color. A strong foundation in color will help you all the way through your careers. Color is the #1 money-making service that you can do. It's the #1 money-making service that you can do. It's also the #1 service that will put you out of business. What do I mean by that? You go mess up people's color, you will not get any references, you will not get any people to come to you because you do not understand. Turning somebody's hair green is real. Turning somebody's hair purple by mistake is real. Not understanding the law of color. All right, so we're going to move right into the law of color and get a good foundation as what color is all about. And if you get a good foundation, you can always build on color. Color is color. I don't care whose color you're using. You could be using Jingles colors. You could be using Salerns. You could be using Clairol's. It doesn't matter whose color you're using. Color is color. And you've got one basic law of color. So we're going to start right with the law of color. Would you read that, please?
The law of color. The law of color is a system for understanding color relationships. When combining colors, you will always get the same results for the same combination. Equal parts of red and blue mixed together always makes violet. Equal parts of blue and yellow always makes green. Equal parts of red and yellow always makes orange.
Okay, let's stop right there for just a moment. You remember when we were kids? Mm-hmm. Y'all remember that? Mm-hmm. When we were kids, we used to play with Play-Doh. We use Play-Doh today in teaching color. The primary colors are what? Red, blue, and yellow. Those are our primary colors. Red, blue, and yellow. Now, I don't see too many people writing anything, but I guess you can understand it. It's in your books, but just make sure that you understand, okay? But red, blue, and yellow, primary colors, okay? What she just said was when you mix equal proportions of primaries, you will come up with a secondary color. Your secondary colors, red and blue, makes what? No.
Purple.
No. Red and blue makes violet. That is a secondary color. Blue and yellow makes green. That is a secondary color. Red and yellow makes orange. That is a secondary color. Okay? So now, secondary colors are a mixture of two primaries mixed. Then we have what we call tertiary colors. That is when you mix a primary color and a secondary color together. For example, if I mix primary, which is yellow, secondary, which is orange, you will call that color by its primary first, secondary second, which will be yellow-orange. Again, mixing a yellow, which is a primary, an orange, which is a secondary, you will call that a yellow-orange color. Okay? Now, let's mix a yellow and a green. You've got now yellow-green. That is known as a tertiary color. Let's mix violet and red. You've got red-violet. Okay, mixing primaries and secondaries give you the third color, which is called tertiary. All right? Now, since we understand that, and we understand what the primary colors are, let's talk about the pigment of the color. Because a lot of times when we're talking about colors, we don't understand why it takes one color longer to come out or to go inside the hair, or one color lasts longer than the other. Colors, right here, these are your primary colors and your primary pigment that it takes to make the colors. Blue has the largest molecule. Then it is red, and then it is yellow. Okay? So if blue has the largest, then that means it takes blue cannot go all the way into the cortex as far because the molecular weight and structure is larger than red or yellow. Okay. Why is that important? Think about when you decolor hair. Whenever you bleach hair out, The first color on dark hair that leaves is blue. It leaves immediately because it's closer to the surface. Then, when you continue to bleach hair, it stays in a red tone for a long period of time because red is in the middle. It's smaller than blue, so it's embedded deeper into the cortex. And then the last color that leaves is the yellow because it's the smallest pigment. It's the smallest molecular structure. So you got blue, red, and yellow. These are pigmented colors. Okay? Those are primary, secondary colors. Now, also in understanding the law of color, it's important that when we talk about the law of colors, that we understand in the law of colors, if you are trying to correct any problem, if you have turned the hair green, what two colors give you green?
Blue and yellow.
Blue and yellow, right? Blue and yellow gave you green hair, right? Blue and yellow are primaries.
Correct.
To eliminate that, think about what primary is missing in the color that you see.
Blue.
Yellow. I mean red.
Red.
Red. Because what gave us the green hair?
Yellow and blue.
Yellow and blue. You see what I'm saying? Anytime you turn hair a color that you don't want, think about what gave you that color. That is why when a lot of times you take and you have blonde hair, which is yellow. Then you color it black. Most of your blacks, a lot of your blacks have a blue base. So then when the hair starts to fade out, the hair turns what?
Green.
Green. That's why you got green hair when you put it on blonde hair with a blue black, and then the hair turned green. You see green cast coming from it. So eliminate the green, what do you need?
Red.
You need red because red is missing. That's what she read. That's what she was talking about when she says mixing in equal parts, how you give certain colors. And what we're talking about now is complementary colors, how to eliminate unwanted tones. What are complementary colors? In the law of color, a complementary color, if you go to the color wheel, you see the color wheel there. At the top you see yellow. A complementary color from yellow will be violet. That means if I got too much yellow in the hair, to eliminate that yellow, I can use a complementary color which is straight across on the color wheel, which will be violet. It doesn't matter whose color wheel this is. That doesn't matter. A color wheel is a color wheel. Okay? If I take and I've got too much orange in a client's hair, or her color is too orange. Orange is brassy. Then what do I need to use to eliminate that?
Blue.
I got to find a blue base color. Okay? Now, the base of the color is determined by what color is in it. That goes back to the primaries, secondaries, and tertiaries. Got that? That's primaries, secondaries, and tertiaries. Complementary color simply means to eliminate an unwanted color by adding whatever is missing. Okay? Any questions?
Repeat that one more time.
Repeat it one more time. A complementary color simply means that if you're trying to eliminate an unwanted tone, so you're using the color that is missing, or if you have a color wheel in front of you, you are using the color that is directly across or opposite from it. Opposite from it. Red, green, opposites. Yellow, violet, opposites. Blue and orange are opposites. Opposites. See, if the hair is yellow or the hair is too brassy, yellow-orange. If the hair is too brassy, yellow-orange, which is a mixture of the yellow and the orange, then you go with a blue-violet base color to eliminate that.
How many amount are you going to put?
How many amounts? What amount do we use? That's a good question. That will come when we start talking about levels. Because you got to understand levels now that you know you're going to use the different colors. Okay? The level system. That's what we got to get into after we go into the primaries. Now we're going to move into our second category. Okay? We just talked about the law of color.